Hi mathematicians, this is going to be our second video that is going to help us work on some of the exercises on Khan Academy for this unit. Today we're going to be talking about solving multi-step equations using distribution. Make sure you come back and watch this video as often as you'd like. Pause your video and fast forward through stuff that you think you already know. Make sure you jot down some notes while you watch the video that are provided for you. So your goal for the end of this video is to be able to solve equations using the distribution property. So do you remember what property of operations is represented in the equation below? I notice that I have a number in front of my parentheses. Remember, when you have a number instead of your front of parentheses, it means the distribution property. So remember the distribution property. What does it mean? You might have seen it this way with some arrows. So if we have an equation A parentheses B plus C with the distributive property, what we really do is we multiply A times B, which would give us AB, plus, and then we'd multiply A times C, which would give us AC. So this is just the standard equation that we use when we're talking about the distributive property. So think about it this way. When you have two parentheses, x plus 4, the coefficient, which is the number in front, right there, is going to tell you how many sets of parentheses you have. So 2 is telling me I have 2 sets of the parentheses, x plus 4. So there's 1, there's 2. If I were to combine them, I would have x and x. Remember, if there's no number in front of an x, it's 1. So I have 1x and 1x. Together, that would make 2x. I have 4 plus 4 and 4. So together, that would give me 8. We should get the same thing when we actually distribute the 2 through to both the factors. So if I did 2 times x, I would get 2x. 2 times a plus 4 or a positive 4 would give me a positive 8. Notice how it gives us the same thing. The reason that we use this little shortcut of multiplying the number in front is because if you have decimals or fractions, you're not going to be able to list stuff this way. All right, so the bottom line with distribution, what it means, the most important thing is that you have to multiply both of the factors inside of the set of parentheses by the number in front of the set of parentheses. So here are just some steps to help you along the way. In order to solve equations using the distribution property, you have to distribute or multiply the number in front of the parentheses, and make sure it's both of the numbers. Follow your steps for solving equations. Yes, you might have to go back and look at what we did yesterday. You might have to remember how to solve an equation. You have to isolate the variable on its own, remembering that both sides need to stay equal. All right, so here's our first example. We have negative 5x, and it should be, plus 8 equals 2 parentheses x plus 10. The first thing that I have to do, I notice that there's a number in front of a set of parentheses. Before I can even solve for my variable, I have to distribute my 2. So I'm going to bring everything down on the left side of my equal sign. Negative 5x plus 8 equals 2 times x is going to give me 2x. 2 times 10 is going to give me 20. Now this should look like what we did yesterday. So now we have negative 5x plus 8 equals 2x plus 20. Notice I have variables on both sides, numbers on both sides of my equal sign. What's the first step that I'm going to do? I'm going to draw my line down. Now I'm going to bring the baby variable to the mama variable. So 2x is smaller. So in order to move a positive 2x, I'm going to subtract it, not only from the right side, but from the left side. I'm going to draw my line. I know that 2x minus 2x cancels. I'm left with 20. I bring down my equal sign. This is where you need to be very careful. Notice we have negative 5 minus 2, negative 5x minus 2x. Remember, when you have a negative number minus another number, you have to keep change. Or when you subtract, it's the same as adding the opposite. So negative 5 minus 2 is the same as adding negative 2. So negative 5 plus negative 2, the signs are now the same. So I can add the numbers and keep the sign the same. So 5 plus 2 is 7. I have to bring my x. Since both the numbers were negative, my answer is going to be negative. Now I'm going to bring down my plus 8. So I combined my variables. Now I need to combine my numbers. Remember, we want to get x alone on this side. So that means I have to move the plus 8. In order to move a plus 8, I need to do the inverse of addition. What's the inverse of addition? Subtraction. I need to keep it balanced on both sides. I'm going to draw my line. Plus 8 and minus 8 are going to cancel. I'm going to be left with negative 7x equals 20 minus 8 is going to give me 12. Remember, when you have a number next to a variable, that really means multiplication. Remember, we're in 8th grade now. I'm going to show us doing the inverse of multiplication with a fraction line. Division. I'm going to divide each side by negative 7. So I'm going to get x equals negative 12 over 7. Yes, your answer is a fraction. Yes, your answer is negative, and that is okay. Our last question. What must the value of x be in order to make the following true? So I notice I have parentheses. I have variables, I have numbers, I have an equal sign. I have the same thing on the other side, a variable, parentheses, and numbers. First things first, I am going to draw my line just to keep my sides separated. I am now going to distribute the number in front of the parentheses to both numbers inside. So I have 3 times 3x, or 3 times x is going to give me 3x. 3 times a negative 3 is going to give me a negative 9. 3. Now, I'm done with my parentheses. I'm done distributing. I did not use my negative 12, so I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to put my equal sign. Same thing, I'm going to distribute my 2 through to both of the factors on the inside of the parentheses. 2 times x is going to give me 2x. 2 times, and that's a negative 6, it's going to give me negative 12 plus 11. If we were thinking about our example from last time, then we went ahead and moved our baby variable over to our mama variable. But notice I can simplify some things. I have negative 9 minus 12, and I have negative 12 plus 11. So I'm going to bring down my 3x. If I have negative 9 minus 12, subtracting is the same as adding the opposite. So negative 9 plus negative 12. Signs are the same. I could add the two numbers. 9 plus 12 gives me 21. The signs were negative, so my answer is negative. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. I'm going to bring down my 2x. Negative 12 plus 11. The signs here, I have a negative number and a positive number. The signs here are different, so I need to subtract. 12 minus 11 gives me 1. Do I have more negatives or more positives? I have more negatives, so my answer is negative. Now I have 3x minus 21 equals 2x minus 1. First step, I'm going to bring the baby variable to the mama variable. I have a 2x. I need to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to draw my line. 3x minus 2x is just going to give me x. I'm going to bring down my minus 21 equals negative 1. Now what I need to do, I need to go ahead and get my numbers together. Remember, we want our variable on this side alone. So I need to move my minus 21. In order to move a negative 21 or a minus 21, the opposite or the inverse of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 21 to both sides. I'm going to draw my line down. My minus 21 and plus 21 are going to cancel. I'm left with x equals, on the right side I have negative 1 plus 21. I'm just going to rewrite it horizontally. Negative 1 plus 21. Notice my signs here are different. I have a negative and a positive. I'm going to subtract. So in my mind, I'm going to do 21 minus 1. And that's going to give me 20. I'm going to look. I have negative and positive. My larger number was positive, so my answer is a positive 20. So x equals 20. Make sure you come back and watch this video as many times as you need. Pause it, fast forward. Be sure to go on Khan Academy and complete your classwork for today.